Welcome back. We've got your email questions, and Pat is in the hot seat, and he's ready.
Well, let's go.
Pat, Suzanne says, I often see pictures, movies that show Jesus' scars on his hands or on his palms. I thought that when we get to heaven that our scars would be healed. Shouldn't Jesus' scars also be gone?
Well, we have one thing in the Bible. You remember there's a guy named Thomas he used the term doubting Thomas. And Thomas said, unless I put my fingers into the nail prints in his hand or stick my hand into his side, I'm not going to believe. And suddenly Jesus shows up and he says, okay, Thomas, here are my hands. Put your finger in them into the holes and don't be a doubter, but believe. And Thomas did that, fell on his knees and said, my Lord and my God. So that was a resurrection appearance of Jesus, and he had not been healed of those scars. So I don't know. The rest of it, I mean, hey, you get to heaven, you're supposed to have a new body, a spiritual body without the accretions of the flesh. So I don't know. But in the case of Jesus, that one instance, he had those scars for Thomas. All right.
Well, Lisa says, I recently married a wonderful man who has a different parenting style than I do. We both brought kids into the marriage from previous marriages. While I'm more of a listener and tend to reason with children, he's more authoritative and unapproachable. We're having problems compromising our parenting styles in our efforts to raise our children. Should I obey my heart or my husband? Good question.
I think it's time you get into the heads of those kids. All right, you've got a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old child. And so you've got a guy in who's taken his daddy's place. His daddy used to sleep with you, and now this new guy comes in and he's sleeping with mama. And he's trying to boss you around, and him around. And this kid doesn't love this new man, doesn't know him. I really think your new husband needs to spend a lot of time just being friends with your children and not trying to be a martinet, because if he does, he's going to drive this kid away. And if you let him continue, your child is going to hate you and they're going to rebel. And the next thing you know, they're going to be in juvenile detention, and then they're going to be in the main slammer, and their lives are going to be ruined. So the thing is, let the children have a little space, and you've got to protect your kids. I mean, it's a situation where I know wives should be submissive to their husbands and all that stuff, but I really believe that you need to follow your heart on this one and give the children time to accept this man that you have brought into that family. And if you don't give them time and you force something, they're going to hate you for it. All right?
All right, good answer. Well, Derek says, my church allows people to give tithes via credit cards, yet they also advise people to get out of debt. Isn't this a double standard?
It sure is. You know, churches got to realize what they're doing. I mean, it's so easy. I'll have a little card reader in the back, and you can, give me a card, and I'll write down your tithe. But you're teaching people to go in debt. You're telling them not to, and yet you're saying, well, go in debt to give us your money. Shouldn't do that. That's...
Unless it's like, everybody uses today their check cards that it comes automatically out of it's like cash.
Well, it doesn't matter where it comes from. I just think that kind of transaction isn't too good. But anyhow, there's dissonance. There's dissonance in that. All right.
All right. Allie says, what are some obstacles that might prevent me from being healed? I need a miracle in my health and want to make sure I'm not doing anything to block it.
Well, I tell you what Jesus said, the biggest block is when you stand praying, if you have aught against any, forgive, that the Heavenly Father might forgive you. If you want to be in a position of having miracles and being born again, you have to do what it takes, and what it takes is forgiving. Even as you're asking God to forgive you, he said you also forgive others. That's the biggest thing. But you may have resentment in your heart towards somebody. You may have, who knows, there are a multitude of things, but that's the biggest one. All right.
Interesting. John says, is it a sin to pray for money? I really need some help financially. Is it okay to pray that God will prosper me and not feel badly about it?
Well, look at what John said. And I would that you prosper and be in health even as your soul prospers. The word about prosperity is all over the Bible, you know, all over the Bible. And there's nothing wrong to pray. The Lord said in the Lord's Prayer, give us this day our daily bread. Well, bread's money. And so every day you're asking for the sustenance of your life. So is it a sin to do that? Well, not unless the Lord was sinning when he gave us the Lord's Prayer. That's what it says. So let's follow him and not worry about what somebody else tells you.
That's right. The slang word for bread was, or for money was bread.
Bread, yeah. You know, I got some bread. Yeah.
And then Jabez said, Lord, bless me.
That's right.
Bless me indeed, you know.
Prayer of
Prospering.
Jabez. That sold a lot of copies when the man put that together. So good to be with you, Wendy. Thanks for being here. And let me thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for all your prayers. Well, we leave you with today's Power Minute from Proverbs 28. A faithful man will abound with blessings.